I'm Damon Fowler, and this is Gig Stories from Fowler's Garage. This episode features my really good friend. He's a Florida legend. He's played all over. He has the best hot sauce I've ever had. He plays a wicked slide guitar, and he's part of the Florida scene. He's true deal, real deal, man. And I'm really happy to have him on. So please welcome Mr. Bill Wharton, the Sauce Boss.
Thank you so much, Damon. Glad to be here with y'all.
Glad you're here. So are you gonna tell us, are you gonna give us the your version first?
Of the what was that? That was in Windsor Blues Festival.
Right.
Yep, it was true. We were playing at this place. It was a blues festival. There was about 9,000 people there. And the gumbo pot was kind of rocking a little bit, because the bottom of it was a little rounded. And so, I was, okay, I got to be careful about this, I wouldn't want it to fall over or anything. Okay, so about 3/4 of the way through the show, I got a little bit too enthusiastic. And I was looking at the bass player, and the bass player was like that, right? And I'm going, what's up? And I look over, and the gumbo pot is coming off of the fire and headed towards just right on the stage like that. Okay. So kind of at the last minute, I grabbed it, but about 3/4 of it went across the stage. It was like a tsunami of gumbo.
Oh, man.
And those Canadian guys, man, I swear, they got out their snow shovels, man, and they were shoveling it off the stage. And we put a bunch of other stuff in there. And but I tell you what, I've never heard 9,000 people say, "Oh shit," at the same time.
Right. It's a good one, man. Very good.
Yeah.
So what else you got, man? I know you have another story.
Well, it's a gig thing you're doing, so I should tell you about this gig we did one time. It was we did a month-long tour in France, and we played almost every day. Virtually everywhere in France. And I think we had 2 days off. So it was amazing. But I got to tell you, people don't usually think of me as a violent person.
Absolutely not.
You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you what.
For a while.
No, but okay. But so we're doing this gig. 30 days in France. Had an unbelievable schedule, playing every manner of gigs, from arenas and down to, a library outside of a small town,
Mm-hmm.
And some of the driving was amazing. It was set up perfectly. And then our record company, Virgin, says, "Oh, wait a minute. You can't do this date over here. You got to be in Paris on this date," which meant that we had to go from Brest in Brittany, tippy top, down to Montpellier, very bottom of France, in one day, and then play the gig. That's 700 miles.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, we're like going down the road, mostly at 100 miles an hour. And I mean, it was unbelievable for 13 hours. no sleep. And when we get there, we're sitting around trying to get to the gig. And one-way streets, all this stuff, and where it is. And we're just sitting at an intersection, not knowing what to do. And I hear, "Hey, Bill!" I look around, and this guy says, "What are you doing here? We're playing the Rock Store, man." He goes, "Oh, I know where it is." He jumps in the car. We're there in like 2 minutes, okay?
That's lucky.
So we get out of the car, and my drummer, Calvin, you know Calvin, don't you?
Yeah.
Lucky.
Yeah, I know Calvin.
He says, "I'm going home." He says, "You are responsible for my safety." And I was going, he was like, he spent most of the day with a towel over his head, like shaking. I mean, he was petrified. And it was like, this is not quite what I thought it was going to be like, And so that was just one of the things that was happening. But I mean, it was mostly an unbelievable trip, but it was very taxing. And we had one more gig at this big place in Po in the Pyrenees. And my agent and my booking agent were at the gig fighting like cats and dogs. And finally, the agent, the producer, says, "I've got to talk to you." And I was really, really keyed up, from all the stuff I had to do. And he went on this tirade. Oh, but wait a minute. Let me tell you about the place. It's like an arena, right? And in the lobby, there are these like accordion things like this. They're all made out of glass. They're about 10 feet tall. Each one's like, 4 or 5 feet. And they have all these beautiful posters all over them. And we're just standing there. And this guy starts telling me that, "Listen, you will never play in France again if I say the word." And something snapped. Something snapped. So I grabbed the guy, okay? And both of us went headlong into this huge accordion of glass. And glass went all over the place. And so we were like rolling around in this thing, like it was, whoa, is this happening to me? Yeah. And so anyway, I get on the plane. And a couple weeks later, my friend calls me up. He said, "Bill, they're charging me. They say I attacked you. You got to call them, and you got to tell them it's all okay." I'm not usually a violent man.
Right.
Is that a weird story?
That's a great story. I love it, dude. That was a great story. Hey, I'm Damon, and this is Gig Stories from Fowler's Garage. If you like the content, please hit the subscribe button, give us a like, and a share.